And welcome back, everybody. This is Jim Grisanzio from the Oracle Groundbreakers team, and I'm here with Christian Wimmer from Austria on the GraalVM project. Christian, welcome.
Hi, thanks Jim for having me.
Good, very nice to have you here. One of the reasons why we've got 3 interviews here about GraalVM with people talking specifically about Graal, but Graal is coming up in a lot of different interviews as well. So I wanted to have you here so we can actually talk a little bit about the project, because you have been involved in the project since the beginning, right?
Yes, and that is a research project that started within Oracle Labs. Actually, it has a even longer history than before I started with other virtual machine research projects in the Oracle Labs. But when I started about 8 years ago, together with Thomas Würtinger, Thomas was really eager to start something completely new and get into VM research and more or less change the whole landscape, how we implement programming languages like JavaScript, Ruby, and Python, and also, of course, make Java, one of the important languages for Oracle, much faster.
So this was actually written in Java as well, right?
Yes, all the code that we write is in Java, and we even write very system programming, low-level code in Java. So we have a garbage collector written in Java. So it's like there's no reason to write anything in any other language ever than Java.
So, okay, so why was this necessary? Why was this piece of technology necessary?
So I'm having an academic background, so I was a PhD student and then a postdoc, and it's like I saw how languages got implemented, and I saw the whole pattern over and over again. So it's like for Java, it's about in the 90s and then early 2000s, companies invested a lot of money to make the language faster, and it was Sun at that time and IBM driving that. And then suddenly JavaScript got really important, and Google and Mozilla and Apple invested a lot. But it's like, it's this language isolation. It's like you invest millions and millions of dollars, and then you have one language implemented in a fast way. And that is a waste of money. And so what we wanted to do is we want to make one platform where you can implement any language, and it's fast automatically. So now we have in our framework implemented JavaScript, Ruby, and Python, and R. And we have a very small team compared to that, to the other companies, and we make all these languages fast. And it's like this reuse, that's what I really want to do. And with Oracle, it was possible to do the research for that and now put it all the way into production.
And presumably also, I mean, there can never be just one language. So there's always so many different languages, so you have to account for that, right? I mean, just in general, there's always going to be many, many languages.
Yes, the world is polyglot, and we have to accept that. It's like, yes, you can go on Twitter, on the internet, and search for what is the most important, the best language, but the real answer is there is no best language.
Right.
Nowadays, if you want to do data analytics, yes, you go to Python because there's a language ecosystem for that. If you want to do server-side things, now you have JavaScript with Node.js. You have this infrastructure, these libraries, and it's like people wrote these things in a particular language, maybe because they like the language, maybe for no good reason, but the fact is, we are polyglot, we have these languages, and now we need to combine and integrate them, and not have discussions and fight about, which language is the best, because, there's no answer for this question.
Right. So you mentioned that you come from a research background. And I'm particularly interested, whenever I have conversations with engineers or scientists, scientific researchers, I'm particularly interested in problem solving. How you guys, so you want to create something, you need to create something for whatever reason, there's significant problems to overcome or challenges. How do you go about it? How do you actually create something from scratch that is extremely technical? What's the iterative process like? What's the thinking process like?
The most important thing is to really find and identify, I think, the roots of the problem. And that's not always obvious, because it's like, in case of our language implementation, people know how to implement the languages, and we know that since 20 years. And just applying this pattern works, but you're not making any big structural improvement. So it's like you need to look at a lot of existing systems and see where are they good at, where are the problems, and then you slowly come up with, it's a waste of time doing this and this over and over again. I want to make this easier. I want to make it really easy for people to implement the language. Then you have to think, well, what is the thing that really every computer science students can do? And for us, for language implementation, it's like every student can write an interpreter for a language. And simple abstract syntax tree interpreter, that's what you learn in school, and everyone can do that, but it's slow. And now, for us, the question was, how can we keep this simplicity, but make it automatically fast?
Right.
And that's then where the research comes in, and it's not that you have this great idea and it works immediately. There's a lot of prototypes, a lot of experimenting. So we worked also within Oracle labs with a lot of PhD students and master students with many universities. And then slowly you converge to some idea that you think that can really work in production. And then you are in for the long haul to really make it work, and that takes a couple of years. And I'm very grateful for Oracle to give us this opportunity, because it's like in a normal product organization, it's like you need to ship something in half a year. But within the Oracle labs, we have longer time frames.
Right.
So it was like we have 5 years. And now we could really make a revolutionary new idea and implement it and make it work. And it took years, but now we are happy that it is in production.
Right. Because so it must be a completely different environment having a long-term strategy. I mean, the ability to think through a problem and build a problem and iterate on it and cycle back and for a long time.
Yes.
I mean, it's not the same as being, you got to ship something right away, right?
Exactly, and there is also a good chance of failure. And in the sense of a research lab, it's like, if you cannot get it work, then it's not that you personally failed as a researcher. It's still a good outcome, because you showed that, well, this approach does not work. And also sometimes the approach works, but it's not viable to do it in a business. So it's like, then you can say, well, academically it's all working, it was a good idea, but it is not worth really bringing it to production. So it's like there are all these places where a project in a research lab can be stopped, but it's stopped for good and valid reasons and not stopped because it's a failure.
Right. So the engineering for GraalVM is taking place in the labs at Oracle. Where? I mean, obviously here in California, but you're in Austria. Where are the other facilities?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Austria. Now I'm here in California.
Okay, you're based here now.
I'm based here in California, but a lot of our team is based in Zurich, in Linz in Austria. Actually, that's my university where I graduated from. We have people in Prague, and we have people all over the world. So it's like with highly trained experts like us, it's like it doesn't matter where you are. It's like if you are excellent at what you're doing, we hire you wherever you are, because it's much easier to work remotely than to bring everyone really in one single place. That doesn't really work out.
Right. So the development methodology is obviously distributed massively.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm also interested in what drives you. In other words, why this bit of technology, why your interest in this field? I mean, is this something that you're passionate about? Do you just love the technology? Do you just love maybe travel, or what are the challenges of solving problems like this?
Yeah, I love compilers and programming languages and implementation, but but I also really like to get things running all the way. So it's like that's really the unique opportunity of Oracle Labs. It's like I want to get my stuff in production, because it's nice writing an academic paper and getting the academic recognition, but it's like then it works, but then you need to do something else. So my drive is more or less I want to finish it.
Right.
And it takes a long time, but that's how it is. I like that.
And it's actually Graal is somewhat unique in the sense of it was started in the labs as an engineering project, and then it became a product as well, and Oracle Labs is supporting it as a product as well. So you have everything.
Yes, now we have a support organization and need to train people who do sustaining engineering and support. So it's like at some point I want to go back to do new research projects, but first we need to make sure that our project, the GraalVM now, is in very good hands, and it will take a few more years.
Cool.
Until we have all of that set up.
Cool. Well, Christian, thank you very much for coming by. I really appreciate it. I think you have a couple of sessions here at a couple of sessions at the event, right? At the
Yes, we
conference?
have tomorrow. I have a talk about the GraalVM native image part. That's the part of the GraalVM project that I manage. But I'm involved in a lot of things, so there are cool other talks about, for example, there's a talk with NVIDIA together where we have CUDA acceleration together with GraalVM. We have a lot of talks about all of our different programming languages. It's about, there was a talk yesterday about JavaScript. I think the talks about Python and R and Ruby are still upcoming. So we have a talk about every language that we support. Yeah. And we have Meet the Expert session, so just find us, anyone from the GraalVM team here in the next days.
Great, and the Meet the Experts is actually right over there behind the cameras here.
Yes.
We're actually here in the Groundbreakers Hub. So, well, Christian, thank you very much for coming by. Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
And for you guys out there, we'll be back here again all day for more interviews. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.